Hey, welcome back to the Six Figure Mastermind. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that social media and social networking are the same thing? Well, if you do, you might be making some mistakes in your business. I'm going to separate the two and explain why right now. Social media, social networking, what's the difference and how is it important for your business? This is what we want to discuss today. Social media is a very consumer-based model, right? So you're putting content out there, and think about it this way. Facebook is easily in the top 5 producers of content worldwide, right up there with Twitter, right up there with Instagram, all of this stuff. But is Facebook generating any of the content? No. Who is? We are, you and me. We're the ones putting the content on social media to be consumed. Now, that you can spend all day doing that. You can spend time following and scrolling, and fast forward, and 2 hours later, you still haven't found anything of value. You haven't marketed your business at all. You haven't done any joint ventures. You haven't made any connections whatsoever. But you feel like you should be able to know how, because you know that social media in general is going to be good for marketing, okay? Even if you're spending time on social media creating Facebook ads, it's so easy to get lost and get distracted and maybe even put out an ad that's not even profitable for you, okay? So social media is different than networking. Think of networking this way. Imagine that you're stepping into a room. Every time you go on social media and you interact with someone, it's as if you're stepping into their living room. Now you've got screens and perhaps thousands of miles that are separating you and the other person, but you're sharing the airspace because you're online together. When you're going online, we oftentimes forget how to interact with people. We forget how to introduce ourselves. We forget how to share what we do. We forget how to, create those joint ventures, and we forget how to network and what's important to share. Social media networking looks like sending messages to people directly. It looks like finding groups that are relevant to your interests. So let's break this down and get real for a second. Let's say that you want to become a public speaker. You want to be in front of audiences. You feel you have a message burning in your heart. You've even practiced a few times. And your number one complaint? I don't have an audience. I don't have people to get in front of. I don't have people that will listen to my message. What do you do, and how do you use social media to connect that and build that bridge? You're going to be going into Facebook groups that are looking for speakers. So you're going to type into Facebook, looking for speakers, or Speakers International, or public speakers. Look for groups that are relevant to that. Dive into those groups and start delivering content, not just as a consumer, but as a person that actually adds value into the community. You can say things like, hey, I just worked on my signature presentation for the second time. I recorded it. Can someone review this for me and give me some feedback? That's using social media wisely, and that's networking, especially if you take those comments that are on that post, whatever you put in there, and start having direct conversations with people. One of the most powerful tools that I've seen my students use and that we use together all the time is the DM, the direct message. Whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't care where you are. That personal message, especially when you're not using a robot, is one of the best ways to network. And it's not just one touch either. You don't just send them a direct message and cross your fingers and say, oh, I hope all is well. Good luck. Get back to me. Get back to me. Those words, they're poison. They're poison online because no one's going to get back to you. You've got to be the first person that they think of when they have needs that you can fulfill. So how do you be the first person they think of? You're going to be constantly dripping campaigns on them. That's what they call it, a drip campaign. When you're constantly just offering information, constantly just making touches. You do it through email, you do it through direct messages on Facebook, you do it through direct messages on Instagram. Constantly just be checking in and touching base. You don't want to get annoying. You definitely want to respect them. If they say, hey, I'm really not interested, you say, cool, thanks for taking the time. But be the first person they think of. So when they think, hey, I need a public speaker for this event that speaks on this topic, they know to come to you first. So get networking online by direct messaging people. Be willing to not hide behind the screen of Facebook. Be willing to not hide behind the simple like or the double tap. You can't just be a consumer on social media without being a contributor. You should be contributing and consuming. That's how you're going to grow your network, and that's how you're going to make connections. Let me just give you an example. I talked to one of my clients a few weeks ago, and she got syndicated on over 300 networks and channels. I was so psyched for her. And I said, you know what? I'd love to talk to the person who you talked to about getting syndicated. I texted a 3-way message to her. She brought in my buddy Ralph, and I just talked to him today, and now we are looking at a possibility of doing a joint venture. That's how networking happens. Have I ever met this person face to face, nose to nose? Not in my life. I hope to someday, but we haven't met at all. And yet we found a common thread and a common message because we're willing to reach out and understand that it's not a screen I'm talking to. It's a person. So get online, get out networking, find those connections, and build your business. Hey, thanks for watching today. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. Ring the bell too if you want to get an email every time I produce a video for you. And if you're curious on how to work directly with me in building your 6-figure business, go ahead and hit up the link in the comments below, and I'll be reaching out to you soon.